This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to this episode of Back to the Story, where friends come together to play Dungeons and Dragons. I'll be your DM, Klaus. Let's get started.
When you see God's Rust surrounded by armies,
I'm sorry I couldn't buy us more time.
then know that its dissolution has come near.
I mean, I have great faith in the gods. I think that no matter what happens, they're going to triumph over this.
Then let those who are upon the pinnacle flee to the mountains.
And it's not really our place to judge, but to serve.
And let those who are inside the city depart.
I think if you gave me a few days, I could learn enough deep speech to try.
And let not those who are out in the forest enter it.
I'm an archaeologist. Disrespecting the dead is kind of what I do.
For these are the days of vengeance,
I just want to know what the fuck I am.
to fulfill all that is written.
Do not heed the visions of false prophets. Do not become what they want you to become.
Alright, Scales. It's up to you now. You've got this.
With that out of the way, we have Noel, aka of Slightly, aka of Slightly, which is on Twitter, has some wonderful, magical, wondrous items, mundane equipment for your viewing pleasure. Check her out on Twitter, where she posts daily these interesting little knickknacks and stuff that you can put in your game. They're all wondrous and, quaint's not the word, but lovely. I'm glad to have you back here, sir, as Stitches. All right, so the memory coalesces, pushing back the void smoke to look upon a face uplit by something glowing in pulsing crimson and purple colors. The face is of an older tiefling, pale blue skin, hair cut clean with square glasses that have slid down to the edge of his nose. It should be ready, High Prince, in time for the night. There have, of course, been some setbacks, but the last of the equipment should be arriving soon. A voice from behind responds, coming from a blurred form and shadow over the tiefling's shoulder.
You have done well, Prince Geysir. I look forward to seeing the final results of your labor. However, for now, I must attend to a guest.
The memory snap cuts to a door being flung open in low perspective, which can only see the polished leather shoes and fine suit of a figure who walks towards a table. The vision never pans up enough to reveal the face as they pull out a chair, and the perspective pans around to see the guest who sits opposite. An older halfling man in a fine grey suit, long dark grey hair slicked back with salt and peppered beard full, trimmed and oiled. He sits leaning back with his feet kicked up on the table, glass of wine in one hand, cigar in the other. He slides his dark sunglasses down to reveal, over their bridge, I don't hold the patience to be kept waiting, but your wine did keep me company.
I apologize for the disruption. I assure that you now have my undivided attention. Please tell me of your designs.
The vision begins to blur slowly at first, and as the darkness begins to take the memory, the last vision is of a cigar burning laid upon an ashtray, the smoke flowing from the dim embers. Remembrance of High Prince Alrath. Previously, in their quest to find the missing colt and discover what is going on in Embershore, the Scales entered the Devil's Yard, heading to the hole-in-the-wall bar, the Bloodhounds. Along the way, they ran into a disguised individual who turned out to be the fashion designer, Ellie Forrester, going by the name Stitches. At Bloodhounds, no muddy waters was found, but they did run into Ziggy the Rat, a known nefarious dealer who quickly ran away after being briefly charmed by Stitches through her enchanting beauty. The Scales spoke to the bartender, an old tiefling named Garth, who for a couple hundred gold told them what he knew. Intending to leave Embershore with his new coin, and leaving the bar, Vesper prayed through AI to find Colt, but he was not anywhere nearby as she passed by the old granny tiefling's home. There, however, instead you found 3 Red Watch guards who stepped out with a warrant for the arrest of the Scales for a murder. With some initial hesitation, the Scales were eventually manacled and marched to the Red Watch dungeon, locked in cells. After a shift change a number of hours later, Voyage arrived to speak to Ellory. Amsen foresaw some possibility of this happening, so Ellory was able to convince him of false intentions. Voyage told the Scales about a device in a crate labeled Nashik's tea, confiscated and held below Rothburn Rook, that he wanted back, offering to fully clear your name if you did so, and also implying threats towards more vulnerable family members if you did not. We come back to the story here. You were all allowed to simply walk out of the dungeon with your things, leaving the city walls to speak in Varys' office at Stonehill Abbey. You spoke for some time, trying to decide what to do next, as the midnight doorbell tolls and the night chill of autumn is fully set in. You begin to gather your things to set out on your next course of action. How would you like to proceed? Now, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that y'all's plan was for Vesper and Amsen to go towards the Elixirium to speak to Lysander and possibly Varys. Ellory and Bál were going to go to Mogthur, and Felix and Stitches were going to go to the Wild Elegance office. Has that changed, or is that correct?
I think that's still true. As we are splitting up to go different directions, I'm just going to briefly say to Vesper, hey, when you talk to your friends in high places, just be really careful about how much you say, especially about that crate below Rothburn Rook. Because if they get wind of that, then we lose one of our avenues for getting ourselves and our families out of this mess.
Right, I'll be careful.
Okay. I hope that your friends will be able to give us some kind of help, but there's one way that we know we can do something about this, and I don't want to close that off yet.
Just give Ellory a quick hug.
I was going to give Vesper a quick hug, too.
It's going to be fine.
Well, I'll try to believe that.
I'll turn to Amsen and kind of jerk my head like, let's go.
Yeah, sure, of course. Sorry. Coming.
Okay. And as you guys begin to split, walking back into the city towards your various intentions, we'll do Vesper and Amsen as you're walking. You'll eventually go towards the exchange where the Elixirium is, the alchemy shop owned by Vesper's father, Lysander. It is after midnight by the time you get there. It's probably 12:30 or so by the time you get to the outer door. No lights from inside the windows. You pass a few Covenant on their nightly patrols. Mostly the night is still, just a few sounds from the few inns and taverns you pass that are still lively. But in this area, it's quiet.
Shit, probably already in bed. I'll unlock the door and let us in.
Okay. You open it up, revealing the shop interior. The alchemy stand behind the desk, reagents and potions.
Upstairs? I was going to go upstairs to the house.
You can go upstairs.
Yeah, are there lights upstairs?
Not from the outside that you could see.
Okay, I'll let myself into the house.
Okay, they're connected. So the house part is basically upstairs above the shop. Okay, so you enter in, close the door, and are able to walk upstairs. Are you all trying to be stealthy, or?
No, I'm going home.
Okay. You guys walk up the stairs. About by the time you get halfway up the stairs, Vesper, is that you? As you see the figure of Varys kind of leaning over the rails, looking down the stairs.
Yeah. Amsen is here too.
All right. Hey, Amsen. Did you lock up? Did you lock up?
Oh, yes, of course.
All right.
Is father home upstairs?
He's in bed.
Oh, I was hoping to talk to him before he retired for the night.
Do you want me to get?
Yes, please. If that's all right.
All right. You all right?
Yeah, no, everything's fine. Just need to talk to him about something that happened today.
Make a deception check at advantage, because he has no reason to suspect anything, but...
Oh, thank God, that's really good. That's less good. So, deception is a 17.
Okay. All right. He turns, walks back towards their room, opens the door. A few minutes later, Lysander comes out and he's wearing nice pajamas, like full, like long sleeve, pinstripe, kind of light blue color. Vesper, yes. Oh, hello, Amsen.
Hello.
You said, do you need something? You all right?
Yeah, I just needed to talk to you about something.
Sure.
Real quick. I'm going to switch to Primordial and just go, it's just, something happened today and I need your help.
He responds back in Primordial, kind of switching. You see his eyes kind of widen as you switch to it, and then he kind of adjusts. And kind of comes close, grabs you by the elbow.
Are you all right? You in trouble?
Yes, kind of. Maybe. I'm working on it. It's under control. I think.
What is it? What?
There's, I need your help finding out what's been going on in the winery since I've been gone. I know you've got connections that have connections there. I just thought maybe.
It's been a decade. I can reach out, but why?
I know they're tied up in some stuff that's been going on. Ellory, one of the men who worked for her father, he went missing, and we think it's tied up in something that the winery might be involved in.
It's been a decade since I've done anything with them. Don't you know some people?
I do. There? I'll be talking to them too. I just thought maybe,
I can,
cover more ground.
Can reach out. Yeah. I didn't do anything more with them because I didn't trust them. They offered me a lot of money for a supposed mixologist. Wanted me designing their drinks. I wasn't comfortable that that's all they wanted with what they were offering.
Huh.
Maybe it's all on the up, but it just seems strange. I'll ask who I know if I can.
Thank you, and just be careful.
You do the same, Vesper.
I'll try.
And you can trust your father. He's a good man.
I know, that's kind of why I'm not trusting him right now. There are some forces at work right now that are less upstanding.
All right, well, I'll get some sleep and I'll ask around tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Amsen, you're welcome to stay.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your hospitality.
Of course. All right. Now, I'm going to bed.
He bids you farewell, goes back into the room, closes the door.
What did he say?
He said he could try and help us. It's been about a decade since he worked with them. They wanted him to be a mixologist for them, though, which seems interesting. He typically deals in, alchemy.
Yeah, that seems a little bit strange. I don't know. With people like that, it seems like they would want to gather people with unique talents that they could possibly use. And your father certainly has a unique talent. I don't think there's anybody else here in town that knows how to do the things that he does.
Yeah, I just hope he's careful. I hope him asking questions doesn't make trouble.
Yeah, for him it'd be rather sudden.
Well, do you want any tea, or I can set you up on the couch, or my floor? Or...
Whatever's most comfortable for you, Vesper.
Well, I want you to be comfortable too. I'll get the couch set up.
Gosh, this is so awkward.
So as Vesper is setting up the couch and Amsen is considering his next move, we'll come back to that. Let's do, is Noelle back? Is she still having some difficulties?
Yes.
You good?
Do you have me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll hop over to Felix and Elle. You kind of re-entered Embershore, walked through, you passed through a few patrolling Covenant, but otherwise pretty calm streets. make your way to the Exchange, which is the market district, and then to Wild Elegance, which is where you work with Houston, kind of in a divided area where you have your office. Is there anything y'all wanted to do?
Well, I definitely was going through and picking some stuff up and just kind of gathering some supplies, restocking my bag of lemon drops, of course. Felix, you said you just needed a place to hang out, there's not like a lot of resting areas, I guess, but pull up a floor or a chair or a counter, make yourself comfortable. I think there's some tea. I could make tea, maybe? I
Tea
could do
would
that.
be lovely. Or is there some kind of service here where we can send a child for wine?
I snap and I summon an unseen servant and I task them with finding some wine or tea or something. I'm not normally in charge of the client hospitality.
Okay. You charge him with this, and Houston is a known drinker of all things, including wine. As this kind of shifting wind that's barely visible kind of shifts, goes behind the counter where you know there to be multiple bottles. You hear a few clanking as multiple empty wine bottles are shifted around, and eventually this floating bottle is apparated and drifts back towards you both. As it pops open, the cork is removed by the servant.
Lovely. Want to help me forge some letters of introduction to introduce me as a famous designer from another country?
Sure, that sounds fun.
Wonderful. And yeah, I will set up, and going off of what I know of fancy people in Asmazaros and Elle's suggestion, I will forge a couple documents that will legitimize my reason for going to visit with them tomorrow.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. Do you have a forgery kit?
I do.
Or whatever that's called. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll that
Perhaps
with
calligrapher's supplies.
Ooh, okay. Roll with advantage between your background and her background and the calligraphy, using either Dex to do fine calligraphy or intellect, just using your knowledge of fashion and nobility type tiers and stuff like that. So your choice one.
Okay, I'm going to do intelligence, and that is 30.
Okay. Yeah, between what you know about Asmazaros and the nobility tiers and the noble houses and what she knows about calligraphy, and she kind of instructs you on some font choices that are used in Nimbershore with all the rich families, and her knowledge of fashion terms, you're able to do you end up with a well-forged document. It could pass just about anywhere.
So, Stitches. Elle, what was your surname again?
Foresters, but Stitches is just lovely. I like that. It's a great name to be known by. Stitches. Love it.
A secret vigilante alter ego?
I don't know if vigilante would be the right word. I'm really, as I said, I'm just looking for some fabric.
True. But you're determined to get it yourself, and rather than rely on what seems to be this community's wonderfully corrupt law enforcement, you did it yourself. Impressive for someone who is a craftsman above all else. Or perhaps an artist, if you choose to use that term.
Well, I believe that all true craftsmen are artists. Although not all artists are craftsmen, I will grant you that. But thank you. I will take it as a compliment.
Well, I certainly appreciate your help. Tomorrow, you had mentioned you had an ability to make others look a certain way.
I can. It's
Perhaps
something
you
I
can,
just...
Perhaps you can help me discover or put on a more suitable outfit. As you can see, most of my clothing is utilitarian.
Oh, well, we may not need even something special for that. Let's just look around and see what we can find. If you see anything you think might suit you, if you want to have a nice little vigilante alter ego of yourself.
Fine. And he picks up the bottle of wine, and they go have a makeover montage.
Okay. So you guys have this makeover montage, drinking down the bottle as you try on, I assume, various clothing and outfits. They have full-blown suits. They have like vest and button-down. They have like turtleneck, blazer combos. What does Felix kind of land on? They have like cloaks, robes. They have the whole gambit here.
I think he'll go with something that makes him look vaguely exotic. He's hoping to get out of talking a lot. So something where he looks foreign but wealthy.
Okay. So you end up with like a suit with like a elven cut shawl that drapes over the shoulders, nearly cape-like.
I insist upon a hat.
What kind of hat?
It could be a simple hat with a very, very big feather, or I could swap it out for one with a big sparkly buckle. Ella's very into hats. She loves hats and thinks everyone should wear hats.
I like the one with the feather. Give me that one.
Okay. So Felix ends up with a feathered elven cut nobility's suit as you drink down the bottle of wine. From that, we'll move on to Ellory and Bál. As that's happening, you guys enter the city just as the others did, splitting off towards the exchange before going to the edge of it to the copper sail. It's still pretty lively. You could hear the music, people talking, yelling over each other with the loud music and all the conversations. It's pretty packed tonight. Entering in, you can see Mogthur, as well as the other bartender, kind of busy serving drinks, cleaning things out, grabbing in a new keg and kind of placing it up on the counter so it can be served quickly.
To Bál, I say, I need to talk to my sister first, and then we can talk to Mogthur. And then I'm going to go look for Shirza.
Maybe before you do, Bál will just ask, do you want me to come with you, or should I wait here?
Let's stick together for now, I think. But either way, if you want to wait down here, that's fine.
I can come with you.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys wade through the crowded bar, nodding to Mogthur as he's just busy, heading up the stairs to sort of the private rooms, to Shirza's room. Pushing the door open, you see she's kind of laying back on the bed, and she has a mandolin-like instrument, and she's just kind of plucking it. Doesn't seem like she's super good at it, but she's kind of playing various chords on it as you come in.
Hey.
She kind of hops up. Hey, Bál.
Hi.
I needed to do something for me.
Yeah. She pulls you in and close the door. What is it? Is it a secret?
It's kind of, yeah. I needed to pack a bag. Just...
Where are we going?
Hopefully nowhere. Just necessities and anything that you can't stand to part with. And I need you to keep it handy, keep it nearby, until I tell you that it's safe. And,
Are we going soon?
Shirza, hopefully we're not going anywhere, but if there's trouble here, or if Dad or me or any of my friends tell you that you need to get out, then grab the bag and, Are you still friends with Fruity these days?
I don't see her super often, sometimes when they come to market. And she's saying this as she's pulling out a bag, and she puts in a mandolin and a diary and a jar of peanuts. She's just packing random stuff.
It's the safest place I can think of. If there's trouble here, or if one of us tells you that you need to get out, then go to Klein's farm.
All right.
And stay there and tell Klein and Victoria that they need to hide you.
It'll be fine, Ellory. You just blast him like you did the Valgrith. Plus we have Bál. She points up at Bál, who's kind of has to hunch over, because the ceilings are not quite 10 foot.
Just indulge me, okay? I need to know that you're safe.
Yeah.
And if there's trouble here...
I'll go see Fruity. Yeah, I got it.
Steer clear of the Covenant.
I never do.
Just please trust me on that.
Fine.
And you know Voyage, right? You know who he is?
Hmm?
Stay away from him and anyone that you know associates with him.
Sure.
And I give her a hug.
She kind of hugs you back.
Okay.
But if we go anywhere, you have to bring me with you. Next time.
We'll see.
She kind of hops back on the bed and starts fumbling with the mandolin again.
I'm just going to give her a kiss on the forehead before I go back out.
Gross. She kind of like pushes you away, but chuckles as she does it.
All right. Well, let's go see if we can pull Mogthur away from his work.
Okay. You guys go back down, push your way towards the front of the bar, and you see he's busy filling drinks, taking coin, this way and that. He eventually kind of breaks away over to the side where he's filling up 3 other tankards he's holding in one hand. Yeah? Drink?
We need to have a conversation.
A little busy right now. What's up?
We need to have a private conversation.
Get off the table! He like yells over. Right now.
I don't think it has to be this instant, but it should be tonight.
You know, we finished up around 2. What's going on?
Things...
Is it a cult?
It's Voyage. Listen, I'll help out until things close up.
Brett he kind of looks over at Brett, the kind of burly half-orc that heaved the big keg, points to him, and Brett just kind of sighs and keeps working busy as Mogthur pulls you and Ball and kind of goes. Looks like the private room is currently occupied and kind of takes you back up the stairs, just up to the top of the stairs. What is it?
It's kind of a long story, but I'm looking around and making sure no one is nearby within earshot.
Make a perception check.
Okay. Not my best. 14.
Okay. You look around and there are plenty of people downstairs nearby, but it's a loud tavern. You can barely hear each other as you kind of have to lean into each other to even hear you. You don't see anyone actively giving any care that you guys are conversating. It'd be hard to hear you guys anyway.
Ball won't do it right away, but maybe mid-conversation, Ball will kind of look around and give it a sane pass.
Give me a perception check as well.
Sure.
Okay.
That'll be a natural 20.
Fantastic. All right. So you're looking around. We'll kind of catch into that about mid-conversation. All right, Ball. What's up? Find what cult is or what happened?
Haven't found him yet. Didn't really have much chance to look yet because Voyage and whoever he's working with have us wanted on some trumped up murder charges.
Are the Covenant? Are they... Do we need to get you out of here? Out of the city?
Not yet. They're not actively looking for us right now. I think we have a bit of time because Voyage is using this as leverage to get me to do what he wants.
What does he want?
To steal something out from under the Covenant's noses.
That job. I knew he was in with some people. I didn't know they had this sort of sway. What's he want under there?
We don't know what it is yet exactly. Listen, I think we need to tell you the whole story, which should probably wait until we have a chance to talk somewhere quieter. But he's threatening you and Scherza and all of our families, not just us.
You can hold our own, Nethery. People are always threatening each other here. It's nothing new. It sounds like he's pulling more sway than he used to. If you need to get out of town, we need to. I have some friends in Jarman Volk. We stay for a while. I don't think it's going to come to that.
I am certainly looking for a way to keep it from coming to that.
Good.
You remember before I left for 9 minutes, I told you about what was going on in the prison?
Yeah, Sarnelis.
You said something about looking into that. Were you able to find out anything?
A little bit. He's well connected. He's part of the founding of Embershore. When he kind of looks back towards the crowd and Brett, the now lone bartender, kind of being overwhelmed. So, the long and short of it is that when Mogthur, the city where y'all fought the Volgriff, when that king went mad and the knights started killing everyone, the refugees left south here and began founding their own city. King Mogthur sent his beast down south to take them out. Sarnelis was here already. He's been here for centuries before the city was founded. And he stopped Mogthur, at least from coming here. Stopped his beast from getting too close and helped the founding families establish Embershore.
Holy shit.
He's heavily tied into the city. He has a lot of power. He is a accomplished arcanist. I don't fully know what he's capable of. And he sort of gets his way. He still abides by the covenants, but from what I understand, only the covenants he really wants to abide by. The covenant give him a wide berth for that.
And he pays for the covenants that he wants.
Correct, which the principal one, as far as I understand, is being the sole executioner of the city, so that he can do his experiments. Because technically he's executing, following the law. He just takes a while to do it. I know he's not a good man, but I'm not so... There's a lot of not good people in Embershore. It's complicated. With the orcs in the mountains to the northwest, King Call being defeated, you worry about them. And Sarnelis is sort of a weapon in the pocket.
I see.
If you need or decide to break into Rothburn-Rook, I can ask around, see if I can get some layouts.
That would be a huge help.
I'll do it. I'll ask tomorrow. I'll ask around, see if there's anyone inside that might be able to at least get you some room layouts, some patrol patterns, something like that.
If there's any way to get in from underneath, that would be ideal. I don't know if there are any sewer entrances or anything like that.
I'll check and see if there's some well entrances or something like that, yes.
I think it would be easier to get in undetected if we're not going through the fortress.
It's a big job. You'll need planning. Let me ask around. Let me get back to work, and I'll see what I can find tomorrow.
Thank you.
Of course. You're welcome to stay.
Well, about halfway through this conversation, you're watching the crowd. Standard group of people as you remember, as you spend a lot of time here in your youth. You do notice one individual that you recognize, strangely. You see them kind of in the crowd, leaning against the bar. They're back to it, looking up towards the stairs, kind of leaning in and kind of eyeing towards Ellory and Mogthur speaking. He's too far to be able to hear it, but he does look intently looking upon the group. I actually don't remember, me, Klaus, if you saw this person or not, but I presume this person was described to you. You see a man in maybe his early 30s, dark hair, kind of pushed back, shaved tight and low on the sides, and you see even from here some piercing blue eyes. This is blue-eyed Charlie. This kind of leaned back in the bar and is kind of looking over. And he doesn't seem to be noticing that you've spotted him. He's kind of casually glancing around, but is definitely watching.
I will kind of put my hand on Ellery's arm, and I don't even remember as a character, or I mean, as me if I've met him, but if we assume that I would recognize his description, then Ball will put his hand on Ellery's arm and say, "Is there a reason Blue-Eyed Charlie is watching us?"
Probably no good reason. He's connected to the winery, isn't he?
Do we want to have a talk with him? And Ball's kind of talking to Ellery without really looking at Ellery, almost like to make it not obvious that Ball's like, "Oh, I've spotted someone, oh shit," but more of just kind of looking around and like to the side talking to Ellery.
I have the feeling that he is Voyage's eyes here at the moment, if all this is connected. Let's just make sure that we stay aware of him. I'm not sure talking to him will get us anywhere.
Ball's going to stop and say, sorry, what was the name of the bar, the person that's helping in the bar?
That's Brett.
Brett?
Mm-hmm.
Ball's going to just say, maybe I can help Brett and get a little closer to him and see if he's alone.
Yeah, I was going to, offer a hand since we're short-staffed here tonight.
Maybe you two can keep talking if we haven't caught on, and I'll go. And then Ball will kind of try to adjust his jaw and say, "Be a friendly bartender."
Okay. As you guys begin to come downstairs towards the bar, Blue-Eyed Charlie finishes his drink, slams it down, and begins to walk out. He pushes through the crowd towards the front door and walks out.
And this is just as I was about to go try to help, quote unquote.
Yeah, as soon as even before you fully get all the way down the stairs, he's clearly watching you, and as you guys begin to come closer, he leaves, essentially.
Okay, so maybe just as that's happening, I'll just quickly, if everyone's kind of on our way out, then Ball will say, "Do we want to stop him? I need to know now." And maybe if you're not sure, then maybe he gets away. And I don't get, Ball doesn't get a chance to do anything.
Yeah, I think at this point, Ellery is not really sure how to handle things.
Okay, yeah. So maybe, in that moment where Ball's looking to you to see if you want to do something, in that moment of hesitation on your end, Blue-Eyed Charlie's able to kind of leave unbothered.
Yeah, so Ball, you look back, and as you do, you see the door closing behind him as he walks out into the night.
Maybe it's better if we just play along as much as we can for now.
Okay, if you think that's best.
Honestly, I don't know what's best anymore.
Are you guys intending to get rest after this, or help with the bar and then rest, or as Mogthur kind of rejoins?
I think I still intend to help out at the bar.
Yeah, maybe Ball does the same then. Kind of. Okay. I'm sure at some point in the years, this wouldn't have been the very first time that Ball's helped out at the bar.
Yeah.
Just not a normal occurrence, so yeah, Ball helps out.
Yes, it goes from 2 bartenders with Brett Mogthur to 4. As you're it goes from being slightly overwhelmed to almost enjoyable, and you guys kind of share some drinks as you are serving as well, eventually finding rest after you do so. We'll pop back over to Vesper and Amsen as you're kind of settling in. Vesper has made a couch bed with a few blankets for Amsen.
Yeah, okay. So I guess as Vesper is setting it up, Amsen will say, Vesper, can I just and you've probably never seen Amsen this flustered before.
Are you alright?
I've just been wanting to talk about something for a long time. And maybe now's the time, perhaps.
Okay, yeah. I'll sit down in one of the chairs next to the couch.
Well, I mean, just, I know that you're just gonna be in the other room, but I don't know, ever since what happened, I'd rather stay as close to your side as I can.
I'm happy to set you up in my room.
I know we're not in any grave danger or anything, but I don't know. Vesper, I care about you a lot. I'm sure that's evident.
I mean, I should hope so. We are, after everything that we've been through.
I know, but I'd like to say more than the rest.
I think she kind of blinks. She's not really sure how to take that.
Vesper, you are a very wonderful person. You've always inspired me. When I know it doesn't always seem like it, but there are times when I have no idea what to do, when I feel lost, when I feel almost hopeless. But out of everyone that we have around us, and out of all of our friends, you're the one that inspires me the most, that encourages me to keep going. That puts a smile on my face when I need it.
Well, I'm sure you know that you're much the same to me. I mean, you quite literally inspire us all the time. You've always been there for me. I know I can rely on you when I need someone to listen, or if I just need to be cheered up. I'd say other than Bál, you and I are probably the closest out of everyone.
Yeah.
She'll get up and start taking the stuff off the couch.
I just feel like I don't know. What I'm terrible at, you're good at. I'll be honest, I do not always think things through. Don't always pay attention sometimes. I'm not the most observant. But I lack in knowledge you make up for. And I really like that about you. That I don't always have to feel like the well-being of all of our friends is all on my shoulders all the time, because you are always there. And I hope that I do the same for you. That you don't feel like the well-being of all of our friends are all on your shoulders. And if it is, I want to take that.
I could use help carrying that weight.
I want to.
Amsen, I don't... You mean so much to me. I don't want to ruin anything by saying the wrong thing right now.
Vesper, I can promise you completely that you won't.
So, what exactly are you trying to tell me right now?
That I love all of our friends, but I love you in a way that is different. That I've never been at a loss for words. Well, that's not true. Whenever I've been at a loss for words, it has always had to do with you. I love you in a way unlike all the rest. You are very, very special to me, Vesper. That's what I'm trying to say.
Vesper's quiet for a moment, and then reaches out and takes Amsen's hand, and kind of gives it a squeeze.
He'll squeeze it as well.
And she'll take a step closer.
Amsen will too.
And I think she hesitates here, because she knows exactly what she wants to do, but...
After a sufficiently awkward pause, Amsen will go for a kiss.
Vesper will allow it and reciprocate wholeheartedly.
And as this occurs in Vesper's room, across the hallway from her parents, the screen fades to black and pans away as the two embrace. And we're going to wake up in the morning. So I don't think anyone lost anything, but you got your long rest if you need it. Do you guys want to take the break a little early just because this seems like such a solid place to do it?
Yeah, Vesper and Amsen are doing it. We might as well do it.
Okay. Everybody does it. Let's do that then. We'll go ahead and take a break. We'll come back at 9:20, 15 minutes, and I will pick back up in the morning.
Next time on Back to the Story.
Where you see bottles, and it's strange. It's not labeled, yet you understand what it is as it's being poured in. It's fiend blood.
Miss Forrester, darling, I feel like we should warn you that things are probably about to get messy. Murder tends to happen when people in power need to let go of it.
You see a body there, wearing fine clothes, a suit, face down, sunglasses shattered, glass on the floor of Houston.
For part 2 of this episode of Back to the Story, you can find it on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you prefer to get your podcasts. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.